The Armed Forces of the Philippines says that security measures in its camps are more heightened now following alleged espionage activities by a Chinese national. AFP spokesperson Colonel Fancel Margaret Padilla notes that hundreds of locations, including military camps and enhanced defense cooperation agreement sites, were allegedly surveilled by the suspected spy. Padilla says that fortification of security in camps is part of the AFP's standard operating procedure. Padilla adds that the entry of visitors inside camps is heightened. When pressed as to what a more heightened alert meant, Padilla tells INQUIRER.net that the AFP across all military camps are implementing stricter access controls, increased patrols, enhanced monitoring of perimeters, and has reinforced information security protocols. According to Padilla, these measures aim to ensure the safety of the AFP's facilities and personnel while maintaining the integrity of their operations. On January 17, Chinese national Deng Yanqing and 2 Filipinos were arrested for allegedly conducting illegal surveillance and spying activities targeting military installations and power facilities in the country. Padilla says this recent incident involving a Chinese national and 2 Filipinos is unauthorized foreign intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance activity that was conducted. However, Deng's wife denied that her husband Deng Yanqing was a spy, but Padilla says the AFP findings still stand. According to Padilla, although the AFP understands her concern as a wife and a mother, the AFP looks into the evidence-based results of the investigation. Padilla says the AFP will do anything in its power to help in aiding that the truth come out from the matter. This follows China's repeated objections to the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement sites in the country. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement sites are located within Philippine military bases where United States troops and equipment are permitted access. The Philippine Army will conduct the next phase of its training for the United States Mid-Range Capability Missile in their drills next month. According to Philippine Army spokesperson Colonel Louis de Maala, the drills of the Army Artillery Regiment in the United States Army Pacific will focus on the usage of Typhoon's payload delivery system during the Philippine Army's Combined Arms Training Exercise to be held in February. The Combined Arms Training Exercise is in preparation for the annual Salaknib exercise between the armies of Manila and Washington. De Maala points out that new units will be involved in the training and a continuation of the previous platoon that was trained last year. The Typhoon missile arrived in the country from the United States on April 11, 2024 and was first used during the Balikatan exercises. It has stayed in the country since and was last spotted in Ilocos Norte, a coastal province facing Taiwan deemed by China as a renegade province subject to reunification. However, De Maala did not specify the missile's current location. AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Bronner Jr. previously said that he wants the Typhoon missile to stay in the country forever and that he hopes the government could acquire its own. According to De Maala, while the mid-range capability missile is in the country, they will maximize its utilization to train their personnel in this kind of new technology. The deployment of Typhoon missile in the country comes amid mounting tensions in the West Philippine Sea due to Manila and Beijing's overlapping claims. Beijing's actions are based on its assertion of sovereignty in almost the entire South China Sea, including most of the West Philippine Sea, or the western section of the country inside its 200-mile exclusive economic zone. The Department of Trade and Industry assures the House of Representatives that a food security emergency declaration can be released within 2 days after lawmakers stress that government agencies cannot move without this order. During the hearing of the House Quinta Committee on Tuesday, January 28, Trade Assistant Secretary Agaton Teodoro Yuvero was quizzed by Marikina's 2nd District Representative Stella Kimbo as to when the food security emergency order will come out. Yuvero says that the order could come out in 48 hours. Yuvero's commitment came after Kimbo pressed the National Food Authority for why it cannot sell or distribute cheaper rice. National Food Authority Administrator Larry Lacson says that they can only distribute rice during emergency situations as per Republic Act No. 11203 or the Rice Tariffication Law. Kimbo, along with Kita Committee Presiding Officer and Albay's 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda, then asked who does not want to sign the Food Security Emergency Declaration, to which Yuvero says there was none, adding that the delay was due to the wording of the order. However, Kimbo notes that this should not be a matter to think about as prices of goods have been high for a long time as inflation figures have shown.
Meron na, Mr. Chair, tapos na yung draft. Umiikot na. Kahapon na finalize yung version na okay na sa lahat. Kasi nga, meron mga, it's more of the wordings kasi dumadaan sa mga, the usual complete staff work of the secretaries na hindi yan pipirma kapag hindi na-review. So, kailangan, that's the bureaucracy of it eh. Dadaan lang dun sa review ng bawat reviewer ng bawat secretary.
Last January 15, the National Price Coordinating Council told the Quinta Committee that it is looking at possible measures that would allow the Department of Agriculture to declare a food security emergency and eventually mitigate rising prices of basic commodities. DTI Director Cheryl Carbonell says that the National Price Coordinating Council met on January 14 and they are looking at crafting a resolution declaring an extraordinary increase in prices of goods. Last December 2024, Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. said that they are considering the declaration of a food security emergency by January as it scrambles to rein in the prices of rice. The Quinta Committee is still discussing issues involving rising prices of goods, particularly rice. The Department of Agriculture previously said it will implement the maximum suggested retail price for premium grains with the belief that making high-class varieties cheaper would also impact regular milled rice. The Maharlika Investment Corporation's investment in the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines is expected to lower electricity costs and stabilize electricity supply, according to Maharlika Investment Corporation President Rafael Consing Jr. In a briefing on Tuesday, January 28, Consing was asked how the Maharlika Investment Corporation's acquisition of a 20% stake in the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines will aid Filipinos burdened by rising electricity costs. Consing explains that transmission cost is one of the components that make up the electricity that consumers pay for per kilowatt hour. According to Consing, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines can contribute to lower electricity by ensuring that the rollout of transmission grid infrastructure indeed happens.
The way NGCP can contribute to lower electricity is by ensuring that that rollout indeed happens. Because once you've got that transmission grid infrastructure being rolled out, then successfully, then you would have more power players that can in fact get onto the grid and provide supply to the grid. And obviously, just like any commodity, as you've got more supply coming in, that power, the price of power will at some point in time come down.
On Monday, January 27, President Bongbong Marcos witnessed the signing of a memorandum of agreement between the Maharlika Investment Corporation and Synergy Grid and Development Philippines Incorporated, which holds a 40% interest in National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. The Maharlika Investment Corporation is the manager of the country's first sovereign wealth fund. In the same briefing, Consing was also asked why the Maharlika Investment Corporation chose the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines as its first investment since its inception in July 2023. Consing says,
So nung una pa po na-set up yun, na-establish yung Maharlika at na-appoint po ako, siguro nakita po na lahat ng aming mga interviews na kung saan sinasabi ko ng unang investment po namin ay magiging sa energy sector.
Consing further adds that it's very important for energy security to sit at the top of their priorities. Senator Rafi Tulfo discloses that a vehicle boarded by Quezon City's 2nd District Representative Ralph Wendell Tulfo was caught illegally using the EDSA busway. Senator Tulfo says he sees nothing wrong with the incident since his son did not lie and escape authorities.
Inadmit naman niya, hindi naman siya sinungaling at nag-apologize siya. As long as hindi tumakas, hindi siya gumamit ng plakang 8, which karapatan niya gumamit, pero hindi siya gumamit. Just shows na hindi siya abusado.
Only buses, responding emergency vehicles, as well as selected top-ranking officials including the President, Vice President, House Speaker, and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court are presently allowed to use the lane. According to Senator Tulfo, who chairs the Senate Panel on Public Services, his son apologized to him for the incident, adding that he also instructed the congressman to apologize to everyone else.
Kakalampata, nagmamadali siya. Yung driver niya ata pumasok doon sa at pinagalitan ko siya. Pinagsabihan ko, pinagalitan.
Yung anak niyo, sir, ang pinagpalitan?
Pinagalitan ko, nag-sorry sa akin. At sabi ko, mag-apologize sa lahat.